Hey guys, Dan Carr here from shuttermuse.com. Today we're going to be doing a Lightroom tutorial and I'm going to show you how to install Lightroom develop presets. In fact, I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to show you my favorite way, which I think is the fastest, and I'm going to show you another way as well, just in case you prefer it. Perhaps you have some issues with the first way, but either way I think it's good to know both the possible options so you can kind of figure out your best workflow. Now we're going to take this easy, we're going to go slowly, so this is a great tutorial for Lightroom beginners and people that haven't worked with presets before. If you already consider yourself reasonably skilled with Lightroom, you might want to check out my other video. If you have a look at the description below this one, you'll see a link to another video, and that one just explains the fastest method in a very brief format, so it'll actually show you how to install these presets in under 30 seconds, but it does assume some basic knowledge of Lightroom and your computer's operating system. Okay, for those sticking with me on this longer video, let's get to work. You've probably come to this video after downloading some of my free presets, or some you've purchased from my online store. Perhaps you've purchased from somebody else as well. What you need to do is find that zip file that you've downloaded. That's the first place to start. So I'm going to open up my download folder and check out the zip file. So here I have smseasonalpresets.zip. Now the first thing we need to do is unzip this package. On a Mac this is super easy. We just double click it. You'll see it expands it into a folder, and we can open that folder and see that it's full of our presets. Now on a PC, this is important. Do not double click the zip file. That doesn't unpack it. That just shows you its contents. You actually have to right click on it, and then in the context menu there'll be an option that says extract all. Hit that option and that achieves the same thing as what we just did here on the Mac. So then you'll have a folder full of presets. Now the next step in this first method is to head back into Lightroom, and we're actually going to open up the Preferences menu. So you can find this in the top left-hand corner by going to Lightroom and then hitting Preferences, or you can use the shortcut Command, comma on a Mac or Control, comma on the PC. So we'll hit that. Now, by default, this will probably open up on the General tab. This is open up on Presets because this is the one I used last. We need to go to this Presets tab. Now, before we actually perform the next step, which is to click this button, wait for it, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to explain something here. In this section on the left here, it says Store Presets with this catalog, and you have a little checkbox you can turn on and off. I do not recommend using this option. When you use this option, your presets are only available in that one particular catalog. So it means if you start a new catalog, perhaps for a different year or a different event or something like that, if you have some other reason to start a new catalog, when you start that catalog, it won't have any of your presets in it. So if we leave this unchecked like this, then any of these presets we install using these processes we're just about to go through, they will be available in all of your catalogs. That's a much better way to do things. So ignore this terrible option. Okay, next thing we need to do is hit this button, Show Lightroom Presets folder. Now what this is going to do is pop open your file browser and show you where Lightroom is actually storing presets on your hard drive. I'm going to change the view here slightly. I think this is a bit easier to see. You can see in my case, this is in a folder which is on my hard drive, Users, Dan Carr, Library, Application Support, Adobe. So this is obviously on a Mac. A PC will look something similar. Now it's highlighted the Lightroom folder. What we need to do is actually enter this folder. So I'm going to double click that folder. And this is where Lightroom stores all kinds of settings and presets. We are concerned with develop presets for this tutorial. So we're actually going to double click that one as well. Now inside here, you'll see we already have a few folders. Lightroom presets is a default one. The TK one is one that I've already created for another purpose. And then user presets is where Lightroom stores ones by default that you just create within Lightroom itself. So we need to have this little browser window open. And we also need to find our previous browser window where we have our folder of newly downloaded presets. So this part's pretty simple actually. All we need to do is drag this folder into our develop presets folder. Okay, pretty simple. Now, if we go back to Lightroom, you'll notice that actually these presets don't show up yet. What we need to do is close down Lightroom. So I'm going to quit Lightroom and reopen it. Okay, now that Lightroom's reopened, we're going to make sure that we're in the Develop module. And once you're in the Develop module, you'll see the preset panel on the left-hand side. Now, if you don't see it, it might be collapsed like this. You might have to press the little triangle to fold these folders down. Now this is often something that trips people up and they think, where's the preset panel? And the two reasons for that are usually that this is collapsed or that they are in the library module instead of the develop module. When you're in library, you see all of your photos and your collections. You actually need to be in the develop module to see the preset panel. And you'll see now that we also have this folder that we've added, SM Seasonal Presets. And if we open that up, we can see all of those lovely presets we just installed. Now you can do things like right click on here and rename this folder. You can rename the individual presets themselves. And if you wanted to, then you can actually drag these presets around into different folders. But for the most part, you're probably just going to want to leave it in the folder that you just installed it in. So for me, this is the way that I always install my presets. I think it's the fastest way to do it. I think it's a really easy visual way to do things, and there's fewer ways to get tripped up. So that is my number one method for installing Lightroom Develop presets. But there is another way, so let's take a look at that. Okay, to begin the second method, I'm actually going to delete the previously installed presets so you can see that process as well. All you have to do is right click on the folder and hit delete folder. Now this is very important. When you delete this folder, you're not just deleting it from the presets panel in this catalog, you are deleting those presets from your hard drive. So if you perform this action, make sure you have a backup of these presets somewhere, particularly if you've downloaded them from an online store and maybe you can't remember where they came from, or it doesn't allow you to re-download them or anything like that. Make sure you back up your presets. Hopefully you're running Time Machine if you're on a Mac or some kind of equivalent if you're on a PC, but just really make sure that you back up these presets before you do this. So delete folder, and that's gone. All right, so this is the second method for installing Lightroom presets. Now, like I said, I think the first one is a little easier for me, but maybe you'll like this one. So you right click, we're going to create a new folder. I'm just going to give it the same name, Seasonal Presets. Now there's our folder currently with no presets in it. The next thing we need to do is actually locate our downloaded zip file again. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and we're just going to go through this, as if we're starting from scratch. So again, on a Mac, you just double click to unpack that zip file. On a PC, you would right click on the zip and use the extract all option in that menu that pops up. So now we have our seasonal presets folder here, all of our lovely presets inside it. Okay, we can actually kind of hide this for now. We don't need this, but what we did need to do was unpack the zip file, so that's why we did that. Now we're going to come back over to this folder, and we're going to right click on it and hit import. Now, once the import window is open, we need to navigate to that folder where we just unpacked all of those files. Okay, so here is my folder, SM Seasonal Presets. Now here, we can actually choose selectively which ones we import. Now, of course, I'm just going to click all of them and hit import. Okay, so there we go. We now have all of our presets imported with that method as well. Okay, I just wanted to talk again about some of the main reasons that people have difficulties with these processes, and usually it's relating to finding the presets panel within Lightroom. So the first thing, like I mentioned before, is that you have to be in the develop module. If you're in library module, on the left you'll see catalogs, folders, and collections, but no develop settings at all and no preset panel. So make sure that you hit the develop module. Now on the left hand side beneath the navigator, you should see this list of folders in the preset panel. If you don't see it immediately, it might be collapsed. So you hit this little triangle here and that folds down all of your folders. If you don't see the navigator or any of this stuff on the left, you might have this whole toolbar hidden. Now you can hide this and reveal it again with this little triangle on the far left of the screen. So if you click that, you'll see it goes away until you mouse over it and then it pops up temporarily. And if you mouse back into the middle of the screen, it disappears again. So that's another reason why sometimes people struggle to find the preset panel. Now if you want to sticky it to the side permanently, just click that triangle and now it's stuck on the left hand side like that. You can also hit the tab key. Now the tab key brings in the toolbars on the left and right of the screen. So if I hit that once, you'll see the ones on the right hand side come in. And if I hit tab again, both of them get removed. So if you're struggling to find that preset panel, you can also just hit the tab key and that's going to bring that up like that. Another one that you can do while we're talking about it is actually Shift Tab. Shift Tab removes both the toolbars on the left and the right and the ones from the top and the film strip from the bottom as well. So that's kind of a neat one. If you want a nice big space to work on your photos, then you can come and hover on the left hand side to find your preset panel. Okay, folks, that's it. That's all there is to it. Those are two different ways to import Lightroom developer presets.